Okay, good morning. It's 11:30, and we're 1 day removed from our normal time that we meet for the Thursday briefing. Today's Friday. We hope everybody had a safe and enjoyable Thanksgiving. Um, the weather was certainly pretty pleasant for Thanksgiving, fairly mild. And a lot of us probably, especially ones living in the central part of the state, probably woke up to some moderate to heavy rainfall during the early morning hours. And it was certainly a little heavier than what we were expecting and forecasting, and a little bit further across the what we call the central part of the state. But we actually had this nice swath of rain of over an inch of rain that fell from like near Asheboro through Pittsburgh up into the Triangle, and on up into the northern coastal plain, including Henderson and Lewisburg. And again, we saw 1 to 1.5 inches. And at the Raleigh-Durham Airport, we actually set the record for the daily rainfall there. I think it was, Andrew, how much was it? It was 1.63 inches at the RDU airport. So that was a daily record. And again, that was certainly higher than what a lot of the forecast models were showing. Now, outside of that heavier swath, rainfall amounts were generally about a quarter to half inch. And unfortunately, for places as you get to near the southern coastal plain near Sampson County and Clinton, rainfall amounts really dropped off. And as you get into the southern tip of Sampson County there, those places saw less than 1/10 of an inch. As we look ahead for this upcoming week, you can see there in the first upper left-hand graphic, that coastal front that's bringing us that brought us the rain earlier today. That's going to move offshore, and we're done in terms of the accumulating rain. We could see some very light rain or some drizzle here over the next few hours, but we're generally done. So we're not expecting to see any additional measurable rain. And then we're going to have a area of high pressure build over us tonight, and briefly on Saturday, and then it's going to quickly move offshore. And we're going to actually see our next chance of rain arrive on late Saturday night and into Sunday. And the bulk of that rain should be moving through the first part of the day on Sunday. And right now it looks like we could see rainfall amounts of about a quarter to 3/4 of an inch on Sunday. And we can't rule out we may have some isolated thunder, a little bit of lightning, but it's generally expected to be just mostly rain showers. Probably the most impactful weather, other than some wet roads on Sunday, is that once that rain clears out, we're actually going to see some pretty breezy and gusty conditions. And we're looking right now, we're expecting to see wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour Sunday afternoon. So you may want to prepare for that if you have some outdoor plans. We'll dry out, and it'll be dry Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll see our next chance of rain. You can kind of see this system here in the lower right here. We got a low pressure system that's going to track more through like the Mississippi Valley and up into like Ohio Valley. It's going to stay well west of the mountains, but that's going to drag a cold front through here on Wednesday. And it's a little bit too early to start speculating about rainfall amounts, because generally when you have a low pressure system that far removed, you can see the rain chances really start to decrease as we get closer in time, as the models get a better handle on it. So it's a little bit too early. So I won't mention any rainfall amounts with that. And through the next 7 days, we're generally looking at temperatures that will be mild for this time of year, especially our afternoon highs, and above normal. So we'll generally be like in the 60s. We'll have 1 or 2 nights where temperatures will get down into the 30s and be a little chilly. But overall, it's going to be a mild period. Here's our rainfall chances over the next 5 days. And you can see that here in the top right on Sunday, right now the models are showing that our best rain chances are going to be along and west of US 1, And as I mentioned earlier, we could see a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch out and across the central and western Piedmont, and that includes the Triad and the Triangle. And then as you go east towards the coast, we're expecting lesser amounts of about 1/4 of an inch, maybe less. And then the dry conditions Monday and Tuesday, and not pictured here is the Wednesday total. So we'll be able to tell you more on the Monday briefing about Wednesday's rainfall amounts. As we look at the excessive rainfall outlook, again, we're not expecting widespread heavy rain, and because it's been so dry, we're not expecting any potential for flash flooding. Here is the drought outlook, and so over the last week, no changes were made from last week, and of course that map I showed you of the rain we received this morning and last night, that 1 to 1.5 inches is going to definitely help this area here of abnormally dry conditions back across like Randolph, Chatham, and up into like Warren and Vance and Granville. So that should help there. However, as you get towards the southern coastal plain, including Sampson County, remember they missed out on a lot of this rain and saw less than 1/10 of an inch in a lot of places. So we could see the D1 moderate drought conditions that could expand into a larger area there. So we'll watch that for the update for next week. But again, we got another chance for rain on Sunday and again on Wednesday. So perhaps we can see some improving conditions for good portions of the state. But again, the coastal plain are the ones that right now have the driest conditions. In terms of severe risk, we really don't expect any severe storms over the next week. We did have a slight chance of thunder with this morning stuff, but all that thunder and lightning, all that was well offshore. And then we'll have another chance on Sunday. It might be a slightly better chance for some isolated thunder. Again, the best timing of that would be Sunday morning and in the early Sunday afternoon. So we'll monitor the chances for thunder as we get closer to Sunday. Tropics are quiet, and I say hallelujah, because it's late November, and so we only have actually a few more days until the official end of the hurricane season. So look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, and these mild conditions right now look like they're going to persist. So we had that brief period of about 5 days where temperatures were really chilly, maybe about a week, and now things have flipped, and now we're expecting basically to see mild above normal temperatures, and you're looking at probabilities over portions of central and southern portions of the state, 50-60% probability in 2 weeks from now. So mild temperatures for the next week or two, and we'll see the above normal rain chances are possible too. We're certainly seeing it here in this week 1 period where we're getting a system about every 2 to 3 days. And we're getting like 1/4 to 1/2 inch in some places. So that will help as we go into kind of our relatively quiet period in terms of our normal monthly rainfall. And this is the closing slide, and this is a little different than what we typically use in terms of the format. And I give you the opportunity to introduce this to everyone. This is a fairly new graphic we started producing. It's a graphical hazard outlook based on our forecast, and I have the link down here below. But as you can see, you kind of use these chiclets for all these different parameters, and green basically means you're in the clear. But as you get into the colors, and you see there's a few yellows here, chiclets showing a limited threat, and you go all the way as you get into the reds and the pinks of a more elevated threat, higher threat. And you can see overall it's pretty quiet. There's a lot of green, and you know that follows the briefing really well. But you do see there's a couple of periods where we see a limited threat for some frost freeze, and that's because tonight, and then again on Monday morning, where temperatures will get down into the low to mid 30s in our typically cooler spots. So that's what that is highlighting. And then you can see on Sunday it's actually got a limited threat for wind, and that's you know, highlighting that 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts we're expecting Sunday afternoon once that rain clears out. And then you also see a limited threat for lightning on Sunday. So I really like this graphic a lot, and hopefully you guys will like it and start using it. If I click on the link here, we'll see if it pops up. Not only does it have the actual little chiclet there, you can actually see what areas are going to have the different threat areas. So for tonight, there's areas that temperatures will get close to freeze and a frost. When we go to lightning for Sunday, you're seeing there's where we currently have a mention for some thunder. And then for winds on Sunday, you can basically see it's pretty much everywhere on Sunday. So yeah, I think this is a really cool, very kind of new product that we are you know issuing, and I think it can really help you kind of get an overview of when you may have some impactful weather for your area. But yeah, again, I won't go over all these bullets. The most impactful weather is going to be on Sunday and again on Wednesday with rain chances, and hopefully you know, we'll start to make more equitable rain chances for everyone so we can get rid of this drought. And then the real breezy conditions we're expecting Sunday. So you know, anybody that has any trash cans out and about, they could be tossed around, and some patio furniture. So and that's it for the